and it's competition. I think it's just now that everyone's back, they're like, oh, basketball game tonight. It's Tuesday. What else is there to do?
No anthem, right?
No anthem. It's fine. Big league deal. That's crazy. I don't know. That's a good crowd on it. Yeah.
Seeing some unfamiliar faces.
Better than I expected.
Alright, we're on a 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
From the stage of the Henry A. Batova Gymnasium on the campus of American International College in Springfield, Massachusetts, we welcome you to Northeast 10 men's basketball. Today, the Assumption Greyhounds and the AIC Yellow Jackets doing battle, looking for a win and looking for full and complete team efforts. We welcome you courtside, everybody, along with Mr. Joel Carey. My name is Andrew Sue. Great to have you along with us for the ride. And for this game, Joel, it's going to be a message of play complete team basketball. That is what Assumption has done. They have the top scoring offense in the NE10 without having a top 20 scorer in the NE10. That's pretty darn impressive.
That is impressive, and it shows you how good Assumption is at getting the ball to everybody on the court and distributing it very well. Really, AIC hasn't had that same kind of situation where they've more or less been relying on one guy, Justice Ellison. They've been relying on a lot of guys here, and they've also started to falter a little bit. They need a full team effort, both offensively and defensively, to keep up.
For AIC, it's more than just the personnel, but it's also the time. They have been lulled to sleep a little bit, especially coming out of that halftime locker room. In the last couple of weeks, they've fallen victim to early runs in second halves.
You're right. They've taken a good amount of leads. They've taken sizable leads into the locker room, but they're susceptible to giving up scoring runs. Scoring runs in which they're allowing 10, 11 more points, and they're not scoring on their end, and it just swings the whole game in the opposition's momentum, or opposition's side.
AIC has made a surprising lineup change. They have lifted Jack Hall from the starting lineup. He had started each of his first 16 games this season, started all 4 games he played in last year, missed the majority of that year with a broken hand. He is active today, he is dressed, but he is not starting. He's got a little bit of a cold streak going on. 6 for his last 20 from the floor, just 2 for his last 11 from deep. Over his last 2 games, 16 total points. It'll be Coleman Hobson, the freshman shooting guard out of Jersey City, to make his first career start in Jack Hall's place. He will be joined by Reese Brown, Lovre Jaya, Tyree Washington, and of course the NE10's leading scorer, Justice Ellison. For the Assumption Greyhounds, they come in at 11-4, 6-2 in the NE10. That is good for 3rd place, and they're 7-0 on the road. Tayshawn Cunningham Pemberton, his 16th start of the year. Lenny Tangashaga, 14th start of the year in 16 games. Z McCown, the freshman, has been a bright spot in a season full of bright spots. Z McCown is an A guy. Dauda Dembele, the junior, makes his 16th start of the year, and Jamal Barnes rounds things out, the transfer from St. Thomas Aquinas College. We are going to send it over to Mr. Kason Romanowski for the now, the how, and the wow right now. AIC 2-6 in conference play, Assumption 6-2. Inverse records, hoping for both sides to come out on top.
Good evening. Good evening and welcome to the Henry Batova Gymnasium on the campus of AIC for tonight's Northeast 10 Conference Men's Basketball Contest between the Greyhounds of Assumption University and your AIC Yellow Jackets. American International College, the Northeast 10 Conference, and the NCAA promote an environment of respect and good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the match participants in a positive manner. Profanity or derogatory comments based on race, gender identity or sexual orientation, or any otherwise intimidating actions directed at student athletes, officials, game staff, or other spectators are unacceptable and will result in ejection from the Vitova Gymnasium. Now let's meet the starting lineups for tonight. First, for the visiting Greyhounds. At guard, a sophomore from New London, Connecticut, number 5, Tayshawn Cunningham Pemberton. At guard, a freshman from Randolph, Massachusetts, number 10, Lenny Tangishaka. At guard, a freshman from Louisville, Kentucky, number 13, Z. McCallum. At forward, a junior from Silver Springs, Maryland, number 15, Delta Dembele. And at guard, a graduate from Temple Hills, Maryland, number 20, Jamal Barr. The Greyhounds are coached by Scott Foucher, assisted by Andrew Brownstein, Brandon Wright, and Corey Chifo. And now the starting lineup for your AIC Yellow Jackets. At guard, a junior from Windsor, Connecticut, number 2, Justice Ellison. At forward, a junior from Albany, New York, number 9, Reese Brown. At guard, a freshman from Jersey City, New Jersey, number 11, Coleman Hobson. At guard, a senior from Zagreb, Croatia, number 23, Lovre Jaya. And at forward, a senior from Waldorf, Maryland, number 24, Ty Ray Washington. Your Yellow Jackets are coached by Andy Burkholder, who's assisted by Dan Roybal.
The visitors, 11-4 in conference play, 6-2, or 11-4 overall, 6-2 in conference play, good for third. The home team, 3-13, 2-6 in conference play. That's towards the bottom of the league standings. The teams have alternated wins over the last 7 matchups in 4 full seasons, excluding, of course, the COVID 2020 and 21 seasons. Assumption won the last meeting, so the pattern dictates that AIC will win tonight. Of course, the pattern can only tell you so much, which means absolutely nothing. Assumption won the last meeting 97-87 back on February 7th in Springfield. Assumption led by 8 at the half. That last matchup, but the difference was the 3-ball. Assumption went 14 for 25, 56%. AIC 7 for 20 at 35%. The teams are at center court. The jump is in the air. It's won fiercely by Tyree Washington. And at 7:38 p.m. with 0 seconds on the clock, the turn of the minute, the turn of the ball, the game is on. Coleman Hobson, the freshman, is in his first career start out of the Newman School, a prep school in Boston, Massachusetts. He's got a 6'8" wingspan, listed height-wise at 6'4". He gets the ball, does Justice Ellison, and opens the scoring for the game. What a dime from Lovre Jaya, who's 4th in the NE10 in assists.
Jaya, just an excellent facilitator. He's really come around as an all-around player, doing it all for this team.
Jaya is 10th in the NE10 in rebounding as well, to your point, Joel. As here working the left side is Tayshawn Cunningham Pemberton, minus college Spartan.
And we're starting to see, just great ball movement by both.
He's a 50% 3-ball shooter this season, 14 for 28. Coleman Hobson, his first ball. Watch out for number 23 in blue. Navon Stewart has Here is Dauda Dembele. He gets it to go. All defensive team last year gets on the offensive here. And Lovre Jaya straight up the gut. Sprint.
Great pass from Ellison to Jaya down to Washington.
Cunningham Pemberton.
Track meet to start.
And that kind of picks up where it left off back on February 7th. The two teams would end up coming up victorious by 10 points. Here is Reese Brown, the 2-time transfer. This rebound is controlled by Dauda Dembele, the junior from Silver Spring, Maryland, who averages 5.7 a game. Here is Barnes, gonna run it back.
That looked easy.
Sometimes they make it look easy, sometimes it actually is. For Jamal Barnes, it is 36.6% from beyond the arc. 93 of his 121 field goal attempts entering today were from beyond the 3-point line. And he has his team up 3. Reese Brown looking for an answer. Dribbles with the left hand, finds Justice Ellison, who opened the scoring in this one, and he's a little short on that one. Rebound is controlled by Z McCown. Quick hitter, Barnes, why not?
Looked like Steph Curry on that one. Just pulls up and says, you know what, I'm going to shoot this because I can, and
771 of his 1,030 career field goal attempts have been from deep. I'm leaving it there. That is almost 75%.
That's unheard of.
Reese Brown underneath to Tyree Washington. Washington puts a hand towards Cunningham Pemberton, zips it towards Ellison. He has to regather the ball, and then it's poked away by McCown, and we got a foul on Jaya on the exit. It's the first foul of the game as Assumption has started 5 for 5 overall, 3 for 3 from deep.
They've come out on a heater here. It's really started for both these teams, have come out very well.
This is an Assumption team that is averaging 82.2 points per game, tops in the NE10, 4th in field goal percentage at 46.1. They don't have a guy who's top 20 in scoring in the league this season as an individual. Barnes shorted it. He gets it back. He's going to go into the paint, zips it out to Z McCown. McCown goes back out to Barnes. He lives on the three-point line. He's got his 4th tonight. And there's been only 4 minutes and 13 seconds gone by here in the 4-1-3. His 9th double-digit scoring game. He's already got 12. Here's Ellison, double team. Ellison escape hatches it to Lovre Jaya. Jaya's defended by Tayshawn Cunningham Pemberton as he dribbles in with the right hand, goes up, got fouled from behind as he tried to slam it home or at least lay it up and in. And he will get himself to the free throw line. It's Cunningham Pemberton who picks up the first foul for Assumption.
And AIC is going to need some buckets here to slow down some of the hot shooting here from Assumption.
We've been talking about earlier, and by earlier I mean the last 30 seconds because this game is just some kind of pace flying by. Jamal Barnes is 4 of 5 from deep. Z McCown has 4 assists on 6 made field goals total for the Hounds tonight. 4 of them have been assisted by Z McCown, full name Zamarian McCown, out of Louisville, Kentucky. McCown's got the basketball now out of Pleasure Ridge Park High School and Winchendon, the prep school in the town of the same name. Little left-handed hook shot for Dembele comes up short. It's the first miss for Assumption, but they're going to get a second chance. Straight away try wide of the mark is Cunningham Pemberton. I want to check myself. That's the second miss for Assumption. Certainly feels like the first, but they're going to get a full-on line change.
And that just goes to show the amount of personnel that they have and how well that they can rotate in their personnel and how they can execute the scheme. The game plan has just been tremendous.
They have 19 players listed on their roster. We will refresh the new 5 on the floor for you in just a few moments. Abdullah Muhammad is one of the new new faces for AIC as the pass going the other way. Navon Stewart up and off the wide right side of the rim. Jack Hall, the rebound, coming off the bench for the first time this season. Jack Hall, catch, shoot, 3! Well, he was 2 for his previous 11, but maybe the change of scenery is going to be a change of result. This is Noah Payne, the freshman from Voorhees, New Jersey, who goes out to his right for Beryl Mawo. Payne again. Fades and gets a temptation of a bounce as AIC heads up the other way. Reese Brown, look out. Underneath, they tried to get it to Muhammad on the quick extra pass, and it's going the other way with Miles Alcindor. Alcindor swings by Muhammad and then yeeted it up in the air, and AIC's head the other way. Well, if this thing slows down, we'll get a chance to identify the 5 on the floor for the Greyhounds, it's Baril Mawo who's got the ball. He's got 2-on-1 building. Mawo to the cup. Counted in the foul.
This is the start that Assumption wants. They want to get out. They want to move at a fast pace. They've definitely been moving at a fast pace. Getting the ball down in transition off turnovers. They've capitalized so well. They've shot well from the perimeter. This is just an amazing start for the Greyhounds.
So the 5 on the floor, I'm going to try and sneak this in. Baril Mawo, Kyle Hicks, Miles Alcindor, Noah Payne, and Navon Stewart. Baril Mawo, the transfer from Bay College at the junior college level. 8.4 points per game in 2 seasons. Shot 50.5% from the floor. Last year shot 51.5%, averaged 11.7 points per game. He's out of Manchester, New Hampshire. Here is Lovre Jaya, banks it off the square.
Gonna need a few more of those for your AIC. And hope that Assumption can cool down a little bit because they're on a hot streak.
Assumption is top 6 in most relevant statistical categories defensively, so it's going to be a hard task to get it done. Here is Navon Stewart, 995 career points. Give and go. And they give it back to him off the hands of Ellison, kicked off the foot off Stewart. They're saying it's going to go back to Assumption.
It looked like he went off his foot. It looked like he went off Stewart's foot.
Noah Payne, the freshman, will inbound this one. Alcindor to his right. Stewart, 3-ball, got it!
Puts him 2 away from 1,000.
On the other side, Buka Pekrishvili's into the game. Justice Ellison, the NE10's leading scorer, is also top 5 in the country in field goal attempts. He takes the ball into his own hands a lot. Extra pass to Jack Hall, right corner 3, short. Rebound for Payne. Payne has Stewart in stride, going for the grand, confirmed! 1,000 points in the college career of Navon Stewart, and his team is up 11. What a start for the Greyhounds.
And it's just been a terrific start here. If they keep playing, if the Assumption keeps playing like this, AIC might be in a bit of trouble.
Well, a lot of teams have been in trouble when it comes to these Assumption Greyhounds. They're 11-4 overall. They've been on a bit of a cool stretch recently. They've lost each of the last 2 games, but they won their previous 11 to get them onto the NABC Division II coaches poll. They were 24th in the country last week, but the 0-2 record this week, including a 3-point loss to Southern New Hampshire and a 21-point loss to Bentley, has taken them out of the top 25 and the receiving votes category. But they still sit in possession of a first-round bye in the upcoming NE10 tournament. Yeah, we can have that conversation. We're approaching the halfway point of the conference season, and what cannot they do? They get the ball everywhere. Top scoring offense in the NE10, and they get it to so many different guys because they don't have a guy who's in the top 20 as an individual.
And that just goes to show how well coaching is and how well chemistry is with these teams that are just putting together such good, balanced teams. Not only balanced teams, but distribution and the ability to distribute and score at will.
AIC down big early. This is not the case of a run that they've led up. This is the case of Assumption being one of the best teams in the region. Justice Ellison cuts the deficit to single digits.
This is a dangerous team right here.
Stewart dribbles with the left hand. He's gotten the 1,000-point milestone off his back. Left side, here's Mawo. He's got a 3. The 7th in 9 tries for the Greyhounds tonight.
What else can you say except they are red hot?
Pekrishvili looking for an answer. Nope, but we got a foul as Muhammad went up to go get it. And I guess one of the things that helps with having 19 guys on your roster, including 16 dressed tonight, is that you can afford to take fouls and have more guys waiting in the wings. This is Alcindor who picks up the infraction.
It also shows the unselfishness of these players for Assumption.
Cross everything goes Ellison. Jack Hall bounces it off his knee. Got a violent bite from Payne and puts 2 home.
It is going to be a challenge for the Yellow Jackets to keep up here with one of the best offenses and also one of the better defenses.
They're not going to get a foul on Jack Hall. They're barking for was the Assumption bench. Alcindor went down. Maybe been some soft contact with Jack Hall, but
probably
no dice.
Not enough to warrant a foul.
And now here come the Greyhounds. On defense, top 6 in most statistical categories. How about steals? They're second in the NE10 in them. Navon Stewart puts 2 home.
Fast break points have just been, that's a great example of how fast break points are great. Defense isn't set, you get down there quick and you get the easy bucket.
9.2 steals per game by the Greyhounds, second in the conference. Jaya tried to forward it to Tyree Washington. No dice, and it's going the other way. The 6th turnover for AIC. Here with the ball is Beryl Mao. Surveying the scene, Kyle Hicks, the junior guard out of Boston, Massachusetts. Mao, right-handed hook shot, rolls around the left side and out. Rebound for Tyree Washington. Jaya to Ellison, halfway through this first half, and the Greyhounds are sledding at top speed right now. And they got a full line ready to come in, but Jack Hall enters with 3 of his own. Hall is 2 for 3 tonight, all from beyond the arc. And on the response, Noah Payne comes up strong. Rebound Ellison. Whoa!
That was a football pass. But when you look at this, it's also crazy, and it's amazing to see that this is what Assumption does. They can substitute out entire lineups, and they can still be successful.
Their scoring leader is Dauda Dembele at just 10.7 points per game. They only have 2 players averaging double figures, and they have 7 averaging between 7 and 10. This is teamwork redefined
at its finest.
McCown gets his pass picked. He was looking for Dembele. It's Washington on the steal. Kanye Wavezwa is into the game for the first time since December 10th against Felician. He's missed each of the last 6. And trying to go underneath, this one picked off, going the other way, Jamal Barnes. He's not going to take it from there, even though that's his residency. Basically, the entire perimeter is his residency, as slipping on the hardwood is Tayshawn Cunningham Pemberton in this high-velocity offense. Finds 0 friction.
Maybe a little ambitious.
Kanye Wavezwa, in his 11th game of the season, averages 3.6 points per game. He was a huge spark off the bench for the Yellow Jackets last year and in his freshman year. The junior out of Lynn, Massachusetts. He's in there on the far side. Justice Ellison as well. Ellison is defended by Cunningham Pemberton. Zips it for Reese Brown, who likes to take the 3 ball. This will be a long 2. If it goes, it does.
They're going to need more of those because this is a Greyhounds team that is suffocating on
Whoa,
defense.
Jamal Barnes.
Almost. That was close. A little short, but close.
Ellison zips around Cunningham Pemberton, long on the try. Washington the putback, and it's a 5-point game.
He was close on that one, Andrew.
You know, I found it a little appropriate that there were folks from Flo here filming this game for the media site, and they had Flo Racing on some of their memorabilia from the site as going up and in for two. What a move from McCown. And I find it appropriate that they had Flow Racing because this is a FloHoops broadcast and a Flow College broadcast. Might as well, the way this thing's going, put it on Flow Racing. Why the heck not?
I mean, it's going at the speed of a race.
Well, exactly. 7-point lead for the Greyhounds as Z McCown, if we get a stoppage, which is unlikely in this game, we'll tell you about him and all the things that he does so well. Cunningham Pemberton has Dembele behind the defense. Saves it from the baseline, but it's Tyree Washington the first to it. Reese Brown up the gut. Quick hitter to Jack Hall. Right wing three is short. Cunningham Pemberton, who averages 5.3 rebounds per game at 6'3", 200 with the board. Meanwhile, there is McCown, one of the league's leading assisters. Dembele takes a breath. And you're only going to get one around these Greyhounds. Timeout, Andy Burkholder. It's his second called of 6. So we'll talk about more how AIC is trying to defend this absolute blitz of an offense. And AIC, the three-point defense has been better of late. Over the first 10 games, they were 47.2% against from beyond the arc, which was worse in the country. In the last 6, 40.8%. Not great, but certainly better than 47.2. That does, however, include Franklin Pierce going 10 for 21 on January 5th. In those other games, those 5 outside of the Pierce games, opponents were held at or under 35% in all of them. That trend is changing, though, right now with Assumption going 7 for 10.
And not only is this a great offense they have to go against, this is a smothering and swarming defense. You can see it's a man-on-man style of defense here.
We've been talking about Assumption shooting a lot, and for good reason. AIC is 10 for the first 16, 62.5%.
But it's really hard when your defense is having to go up against one of the best offenses.
That's an offensive foul against Abdullah Muhammad. He raised the elbow against Cunningham Pemberton.
And that was indeed the right call. He was definitely set on that, and raising up that elbow is what draws the foul.
I could get used to watching a basketball game and a team like this for Assumption.
Just moving so fast and in rhythm.
Dembele has his own rhythm. Offensive rebound, Cunningham Pemberton missed the putback try. Third try for Dembele in a crowd. He shorted it off the hand of Cunningham Pemberton. Ellison will put it out of bounds as he watches it walk in front of him.
It's rare that they miss on those opportunities. With the way they've been playing, it's in shooting here in this opening period in the half, it's...
You didn't even get a chance to mention their tops in scoring. They're second in rebounding at 39.7 a game. Here's Justice Ellison straight away, defended by Dembele. This will be a long 2 if it goes. It does for a moment and then decides against it.
Did not get a lucky roll there.
Straight in, Cunningham Pemberton, blocked by Ellison. Justice Ellison, who's 4th in the NE10 in steals at 6'4", can get up there and goes coast to coast, tries to bank it in. He gets his own miss. It's tied up and off the hand of Barnes.
May have been some frustration there. It looked like AIC's bench wanted a shooting foul there.
Jaya will inbound this one. Coleman Hobson back in the game. Abdullah Muhammad, the transfer from Laramie County Community College. They go left to right across their purview. Coleman Hobson gets a screen from Brown. Reese Brown just went down. He's back up. Man just tripped more than anything as AIC leaves the ball on the ground and it's picked up by the Hounds.
Fast
McCown, hello! Blocked from behind by Hobson. Okay then.
Fast break.
Fast broken by Hobson.
Fast broken, but that was an opportunity.
Jaya straight away, defended by McCown. Z McCown Underneath they go to Muhammad. One-on-one against Cunningham Pemberton. That's a mismatch. He finds Hobson, who's smothered by Dembele.
That was a great block by Dembele. All ball. Just a great block overall, and he gets 2.
On the other side, 0.8 blocks per game is good for 7th in the conference. Dembele has his team up by 11. Hobson straight away. Goes underneath to Muhammad. Muhammad lowers the shoulder, short at the dunk try, and Dembele has it going the other way.
And there are 3 or 4 blue jerseys down there to block that shot.
Barnes swings by Brown, lays it up, no good. Doesn't it feel like, and you've called hockey, so you understand this, as AIC can't keep it. I'm sure, having called it, you've watched it. This is an Assumption Greyhounds team that, in addition to getting line changes, they perpetually look like they're on the power play.
Absolutely, and they really strive. They strive in such a fast-paced style of offense, and defensively, they're no slouches. They get down there quick.
You say the word slouch, you got me checking my posture over here on this chair.
Same.
Right side, here's Alcindor, blocked by Brown. Reese Brown gets a block. Jack Hall from the wing, short, fighting for his own board. It's off his hand. Alcindor tied up in there with him.
Number 1, Kyle Hicks. Number 12, Miles Alcindor. Number 23, Devon Stewart. And number 32, Noah Hay.
I don't want this first half to end, but it's going to end in 3:05. Working is Payne. Left side, Hicks give and go. Mao sets a little bit of a confused look screen, but Greyhounds keep the ball. Kyle Hicks along the baseline, defended by Ellison. Zips it out, Stewart. Look to the left, goes up to the air. Mao from the wing. Nope, rebound, Ellison.
Beautiful ball movement, though, by the Greyhounds. It shows why they don't have one of the top 20 scorers. They just distribute and score so well amongst the personnel that they have on the floor.
Ellison, pull up, 4-2. From the corner of the free throw line.
In the fast break.
Mao, defended by Washington. Washington with that smothering wingspan. Kyle Hicks nearly stripped from behind. Met at the hoop by Washington.
Clean block. Kyle
Hicks at 6'4", Washington at 6'6". Hall, big time. Whoa, Mao missed.
Wow.
Slow it down, dogs.
Wow.
Under 2 to play here in the first.
You don't often see slam dunks that are missed.
Mao was 55 for his first 88 entering today at 62.5%. Hall gonna run it back. Got it! One possession game. The change of scenery is working. Right side, extra pass. How many extra passes are we going to see tonight? Kyle Hicks slides back on Hall, gets 2. Timeout, Scott Fosher. Wow.
That turned really quick.
This is fun. You having fun, Joel?
I'm having a lot of fun, Andrew.
All right, let's take a look here at the box score. The teams are shooting real well. Assumption 15 of 34, just under 50%, somewhere around there. AIC 13 for 24, tick over 50%. But it's kind of the same thing that happened last time these two teams met. Assumption led by 8 at the half. Both teams shot above 50%, specifically around 58% from the floor. But Assumption shot 56% from deep compared to AIC 35%. However, that's only one of the games they tied up last year. The first meeting between these two teams was an AIC victory 78-65. AIC led by only 3 at the half, and it was tied with 15-18 to go. But then less than 5 minutes later, AIC built up a 10-point lead thanks to holding Assumption for just 2 from 10 from deep. AIC in the same span went 5 of 19 from the perimeter. Jaya saw the C's part, and he counts it and one.
And what gets called there is the bump as he's going up, putting up the shot, the layup. He got a bit of a hip check right there, and that's where that foul comes in.
Lovre Jaya has been such a good piece for this AIC team. They brought him in to be a distributor. That's kind of what his game was in his first 3 years of college.
But he's developed into so much more than that.
The 10th leading rebounder in the league, as well as being the 4th leading assister. He's also an elite three-point shooter, entered today at 50% on the dot on the season. Mawo. Look at these moves from Z McCown. Little too much on it, but he rolls it forward for Mawo. Barnes, left side to Mawo. Double team, left it behind for Stewart, who has to go back and chase it. He's about a foot in front of the half-court line. He had to be careful there. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, what a step back. He merely got fouled on that one, but he airballed the shot. And this is going back to the Yellow Jackets, trailing by 2.
He may have sold to try to get that foul there. Sold a little bit.
AIC is leading the rebounding battle 19-12. Granted, the scoring's what's jumping out the board at you, but that's a pretty good margin. Here's Ellison.
Smothering on-ball defense.
Back out, Justice Ellison puts a hand out, fades away, tries, doesn't get the rebound. Mawo the board. He averages 6.7 per game. That's 7th best in the league. Final shot coming. Z McCown, the freshman from Louisville, looking for a derby shot tonight. Goes out to Tangashaka. Missed it off the right side. And after all of the fireworks and all the miles clocked in that first half, it's only a 2-point game, Mr. Joel Carey.
It has been a fun first half, and we didn't want that first half to end, but we're going to see what happens in the second half.
I think we're all going to take a breather. We will come back with you with halftime stats on the other side.
number 7 Marquette with 13 and a half to go. Your Chris Holtman, DePaul Blue Devils. Blue Demons. Coming off the bench all year, and then he dropped 14 off the bench. You've heard the second half. I think it might be his first career off the bench. I want to double check that. Are you going to be here at all this weekend for RuPaul? Are you going to be here at all this weekend for RuPaul? I'm not planning on it. Why? It's not a broadcast up there. No, it's not. I mean, except for, you're talking about for us? No. AIC, Jack is starting to pull me. 11, yeah. His third game coming off the bench in his career. All right, let's do let's just do some minutes.
As you take one final look at the halftime stats on your screen, we will bring in the NE10 standings as they entered tonight. Adelphi 8-1, Pace at 7-1. St. Michael's getting their first win of the year on Saturday. And not really any sort of log jams to be discerned at this point. There's not like a 7-2, 7-2, or a 7-1, a 7-1, and 7-1. Everything's kind of normally distributed almost.
There's a lot of distribution here and a lot of going back and forth here. This is a pretty competitive conference here in the NE10. And every game, as we talk about, all these games are important. No game can be understated within the conference.
AIC at 6 losses, 2 wins currently in the bottom quartile of teams in the NE10. Gonna get the second half just about underway. AIC trails by 2. Wanted to get the halftime stats, or wanted to get the NE10 standings knocked out of the way. Dropping 12 points off the bench for the third time in his career in 50 games. He's coming off the bench.
Maybe it gives him the extra motivation. Hey, you know, I don't have as much pressure. I'm not a starter.
Here is Z McCown. Zips it out off the hand of Ellison. And it'll slow up with an under out of bounds coming for Assumption. 12 seconds gone by here in this possession. Oh, quick hitter. Barnes, rare try underneath, and Reese Brown picks up the foul. Let's also talk about the fact that there were only 6 total fouls in that first half.
Yeah, it was largely pretty clean first half. One of the stats that stood out to me, though, was Assumption getting 13 points off fast breaks as opposed to AIC's 3.
So we talked about Barnes and all he does from outside the three-point arc. This is just his 9th free throw attempt of the year. He goes 1 of 2. He's now 8 for 10 this season. Barnes plays 24 minutes a game. He's played 15 games entering today, and to have only 10 free throw attempts, well, it be like that, I guess. Justice Ellison is smothered by Dembele. Across everything to the escape hatch. Reese Brown, stop, shop, score. 2 more. 1-point game.
And it's just good ball movement. Set that up.
On the other side, McCown trying to respond. Undershooting the rebound try was Brown. Cunningham Pemberton fakes the pass out. Now zips it inside through traffic, finds Barnes. He hits it out. Outside from Dembele. No good.
And these passes, very good through traffic. Moving the ball very well to try and get open looks.
Underneath, trying to back his way in is Washington. Power played by Cunningham Pemberton. Jaya with the left hand, coming off a career-high 13 points on Saturday. Justice Ellison is defended very well by Tangashaga. It's Hall from the corner. And the rebound is loose. Hall, offensive rebound. Washington to Hall. Swirling layup gives AIC the lead. The second lead change tonight. Here is Tangashaga. Dembele through a lot of physicality. And it's Washington who pulls it down. Jack Hall looks forward, looks left. Justice Ellison, little strong. Rebound volleyed out of the hands of Barnes by Washington, but backed up by McCown. Z McCown
Fast
swings
break
by Jaya, and the follow-up is put home by Barnes. And Scott Fosher wants a foul call.
And it's again, fast break points have been at a premium here.
Fast break points, 13 in the first half for the Greyhounds. Give it to Jaya. Defended by Barnes. Jaya gonna take a long 2, shorted it. Tried to swing in front of Cunningham Pemberton to get the rebound, but it's TCP with the board. Right side Barnes, why not? Why not?
Back in his residency rather.
His 5th made 3 tonight, ties a season high. Justice Ellison up and in, altered off the hand of Tangashaga, but it still goes through. Left side Barnes again. Another 3 would set a season high for him. Dembele, long train ahead, and 1.
To put it simply, he bullied his way in there. He bullied his way in there into the paint and got rewarded with an extra free throw try.
So Dauda Dembele, all defensive team last year, 10.7 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game. He's certainly back in his groove after having a streak snapped of exactly 3 10-point games, held to just 4 in 13.5 minutes in the loss to Bentley on Saturday. Dembele's back in his element now. He's got 9 points. Jack Hall swings around him as he bounces it down low to Tyree Washington. Washington bounces in. He's got to look to the cup here. He does! And a strong man effort from the 6'6" TW.
That's what you want to see go up, and it's bully ball inside.
Barnes got Brown to bite. Barnes up into a season-high 7th made field goal for Jamal Barnes. He's got a 20-burger, another season high. And there's still 16 minutes left in this game.
Might be on pace to score 30.
He does have a 30-point game in his career. Brown missed wide right. Cunningham, Pemberton the board. Dembele straight away, snaps it for Barnes, defended by Reese Brown. Step back, three, little long. Barnes trying to illustrate a chance for free throws as Jaya wrestles the ball away from the waiting arms of Z McCown.
We got another full lineup change coming in.
Why not? Cross everything from Brown to Hall. Hall puts a hand on Tangashaka. Gives it right back. Jaya straight away, halfway through this possession clock. Lovre Jaya, defended by Barnes. Looking for a lane down low, he gets it to Tyree Washington, who's just going to take it from there with a hand in his face in the form of Dembele, and the all-defensive team last year. That's not a great idea. The great defender makes the stop. And on the other side, Dembele with the green kicks, backs his way up, spins it, left-handed hook is good. A 7-point lead for Assumption.
Again, it's just bully ball. Bully ball, you've got Dembele.
No good. McCown, lot of, and the Greyhounds have assisted on 9 of their 21 made field goals. That's going to go into the books as a fast break point, so we'll get you an update on the absolute devastation of speed. 16 points for the Greyhounds on the fast break, just 3 for AIC.
And it just goes to show how fast they can get down, the Greyhounds can get down to the other end of the floor, move the ball well, and create open looks and get opportunities on fast breaks, because the Yellow Jackets defense just isn't set up because of this immense speed.
More to the point, the Assumption Greyhounds average 40.3 bench points per game. That's most in the NE10 and 7th in the country.
And in the first half, Assumption's bench had 16 points. And compared to...
He missed the N1. And so up the other way come the Greyhounds. Navon Stewart bounces it down low. Burrell Mao. Quick heater inside to Hicks. Step for step with Hobson. He skates it to the outside for Noah Payne. Mao to Alcindor. Broke Justice Ellison's ankles. Oh, that would have been on every
highlight reel.
On every bulletin board for Ellison the rest of the season. He got it. He pins the bulletin board to his side. And Mao picks up his second foul. Just the second on the Greyhounds this quarter.
It's been a largely clean game here for both teams.
That's the 10th foul total this game. Stewart straight away. Mao to his left. He finds Kyle Hicks. Sprinting his way open to Stewart, instead going the other way for 2, and a foul is Kyle Hicks. And it's Coleman Hobson picking up the foul.
I saw it on the other side. Hicks is thinking the same thing. Let me get a quick response. He has a chance to reverse, have an Uno reverse of the situation. and he does.
This Uno reverse card wears blue. It's an 8-point lead for the Greyhounds. Removed from the NABC coaches poll this week. Illegal screen against Peakrishvili. This ball is being turned around.
It was a moving screen, I think, that got him.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know this better than most. AIC and Assumption have had fun matchups on the gridiron and on the hardwood this season. Here is Mawo, up and over Muhammad, but Muhammad stands strong.
And back to your point about the great matchup on the gridiron, we got to call that game. It was an amazing game. Came down to a 4th down and 6. Connor Dietz finding Fatir Bell in the end zone for the win. That was an epic game, and
a signature win. At the time, Assumption was on a path to get a chance to play for a national title. It's one of the reasons Dan Chipka for AIC was stripped of the interim tag and promoted to full-time head coach. Justice Ellison gets 2 more. He's got 16, and it's a 6-point game. And we got a dueling foul. It'll be against Justice Ellison. Peakrishvili could have been there on that as Payne got through the 2 of them. Here along the right side, Noah Payne fade away. Peakrishvili swings down the rebound, and they got Muhammad behind the defense. Hello! He beats Payne and brings it. Hicks off the foot of Muhammad.
Back in for the Greyhounds, number 15, Dallas Abdallah.
.23 seconds on the shot clock for the Greyhounds. They lead by 4. And now you're seeing just the way that they have amassed the league's best scoring offense. Payne, Euro, but no go. Jaya straight away, defended by Dembele. Jack Hall nearly looked to the cup, but instead Noah Payne stops him in his tracks. Muhammad nearly travels. He's double teamed. Give it out to Hall. Hall through traffic, bricked it wide right. He wants a foul. He thinks he got hit in the right forearm. Meanwhile, Kyle Hicks swings by Jaya. No call there. Maybe call it even. And the rebound is controlled by Jaya.
And there was probably a good argument to be made that there certainly was a hit on the arm of Hall on that shot on the previous possession.
Assumption clinging to a 4-point lead. Lovre Jaya like a Tonka truck, trying to back his way into the paint. Jack Hall from 3 is a little too much. And who touched it? It's staying with AIC. They'll put 20 back on the clock.
And Peakrishvili knew the situation. He knew it touched a Greyhound, and he just let it go out of bounds.
30 rebounds for AIC, 22 for the Greyhounds. As it gifts it to Jaya. Screen set Muhammad. Lovre Jaya stops on a dime, gives it out to Jack Hall. Defended by McCown, puts a hand out and holds him off. Justice Ellison. He's got Hall in front of him. They got to separate with 5 seconds on the clock. Hall with a fade. Oh, man! Big time. Meanwhile, Mao, you can't admire your own work as Muhammad gets a hand on the shot, but Mao gets the 2 points that count.
On the previous possession, it shows how many tricks Justice Ellison's got in his bag.
McCown nearly jumped the route. Hall continues to work. Backhanded bounce, it's intercepted. Baril Mawo, goodbye. He's got 10 points, his 6th double-digit scoring game of the season. Timeout, Andy Burkholder. This is fun.
Yeah.
But a name I really wanted to highlight was Z McCown, the freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky, who is 5th in the NE10 in assists per game at 22.3 minutes per. McCown was at 5'10", 155. Elusive is an understatement. He's got an assist-to-turnover ratio of 2.35. His high school days were spent between two places at Pleasure Ridge Park High School, where he spent his 9th through 11th grade years. Then he graduated high school at Winchendon High School and stayed for an extra post-grad year, where he was a 2-time Power 5 AA Player of the Year, including averaging more than 20 and 10 last year. He was also offered by Franklin Pierce, selected to go to Worcester. He's listed as being from Kentucky, but he has made his home in central Massachusetts for each of the last 2+ years.
Yeah, and it goes to show with those two selections in high school and continuing to contribute here at the collegiate level, and it just shows how challenging it is to make it to the collegiate level at any level. And I've talked about this in the past with football as well. Just to be on a collegiate team is an accomplishment in itself.
Another freshman that's worth highlighting is Lenny Tangashaka, the Randolph High School graduate, spent last year at Thayer Academy, was named All-Conference at the Independent School League last year, where he averaged 22.2 points, 8.4 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and shot 55%. Jaya shorted it, and Tangashaka on the defensive end makes the stop.
It's a 5-on-4.
Mawo, and he got the roll. And the power play is converted for the Greyhounds, who lead by 8. Justice Ellison, one bounce pass to Reese Brown, 1 ball on the way, 3 ball on the way, rebound for Mawo. His 3rd tonight. Barnes. How long has it been since we've called his name? Too long, I think, in his book and probably every viewer's book. As McCown finds Dembele, who approaches in on Justice Ellison in the paint, spins around him, and gets 2 to make the deficit for AIC double figures.
Bully ball. Dembele is just bullying the Yellow Jackets down low. .66", 215.
Ellison trying to outrace Dembele straight away. Now he's going to drive in on him, reverses, fades, tries to run it back, does! Justice Ellison is in his bag. He's got a 20-burger for the 13th time this season. We're not done yet. Mawo backing in, scoring in.
And also Mawo. Mawo is 6'5", 215, so you got 2 big guys down low with great great body strength.
And then you got McCown at 5'10", 155, who just moves the ball like it's nobody's business. Ellison in through traffic, gets fouled, and they will get to the free throw line. 3rd foul on the Greyhounds. This one is going to be charged against Dembele. It's just his 1st. So Justice Ellison, league's leading scorer. 3-ball numbers have scuffled this year, 18.4% entering last week, but has worked that up to 20 and trying to re-universalize his game. Misses the first free throw. He's at 72.6%. As Piekrishvili will come in to replace Reese Brown. Nobody in particular foul trouble. Only 2 players in this entire game have multiple fouls. It's Mawo on Assumption side and Ellison's on AIC side. But Justice Ellison will grab 1. AIC trails by 9 with 7:09 to go. Seven minutes. For McCown, who goes to his left, finds Langashaka, roams around Jack Hall, sprints in, goes up, highballs it, and it's rebounded by Tyree Washington.
And it was a good opportunity down low. Nice work along the baseline, just couldn't get it.
Now Piekrishvili goes to his right, defended by Mao, arm for arm, high points it to Tyree Washington. Dembele wants to back his way in. Now he's tripled in the paint. That springs Langashaka free. Tangashaka, excuse me. Lenny Tangashaka, I beg your pardon there.
Hall came down to help down low, and he was just wide open there. Tangashaka for three. And that was Jack Hall's man.
Pekrashvili up fakes a three. Justice Ellison straight away. Into double coverage. Gets two anyway. Timeout, Andy Burkholder. It'll be a full timeout. With 5 minutes and 52 seconds to go. Assumption leading 73-65. And it's not like AIC has done poorly. It's just that this is not a case of AIC doing anything wrong, because they've had games where they've come out and in the second half done things wrong to give up big leads and big runs. This is just Assumption is more used to this type of rate.
They're used to this rate. They're used to moving at such a fast pace that they can go in at halftime. It just gives them a rest. They come out, and they're still firing on all cylinders, moving. And as you said, this is not a case of AIC doing anything wrong. It is the case that Assumption is just so much is a better team in their execution, and team speed for them is off the charts. And it's just been AIC's trying to defend superior speed.
Well, we've seen this already before. When AIC played Bridgeport, you weren't here for that game, but Bridgeport plays a full, devastating man press. They do even more exponentiated line changes than the Greyhounds do. That game ended 100-98.
I did see that. I watched the first half of that game, actually, so I did get to see the first half.
Respectfully, it's different from this view. I think you understand that, having called a bunch of games here. I mean, you say this all in good fun, but now it's a point of AIC not having as many players on their roster, trying to keep up and not be literally outgassed by this Assumption team that's the deepest in the region.
And they can just put a lineup on the floor, have their other lineup rest, and then just do that multiple times a game.
McCown zips it to the extra man. That's Dembele. Rebound Ellison. Home run. Tyree Washington in stride, blocked. And pass interference coming up on Dembele. And will Tyree Washington get a chance for a two-point conversion? I mean, Tyree Washington looked like a wide receiver on that play. I want to run this back a little bit here.
I love the terminology.
I mean, just watch this. Here you go. Here's a look. Watch 24 in black. He's way off your screen here. Oh, I went too early. This is the wrong replay. Whoops. Well, I see what I did wrong. We'll get that to you in a moment. Meanwhile,
Washington hits 1 of 2.
And it's a 7-point game as Dembele tries to back his way in. Dembele spins and no good. Ellison has a chance to make this a 2-score game. Jamal Barnes starting the defense chant from the Assumption bench on the left side. Here's Jack Hall with the ball in his left hand. Gives it to Lovre Jaya. Jaya zips it out right side. Ellison, 3-ball. Nope, rebound. Finds the hand of Stewart. McCown. Don't leave the ball behind, man. Gets it back. Stewart, blocked by Mawo. Like an offensive lineman or a tight end. Stewart then strong arms his way to the cup, but Jaya makes the stop. All right, another chance. This time Ellison goes into the paint. Stripped from behind by Stewart. It's picked up Mawo.
And the bench was looking for some kind of a foul there.
Stewart, no. Second try, no. Third try is not going to happen. And Lovrejaya taking the brunt of that. While we have a moment, we'll get you a chance to look at the known wide receiver, Tyree Washington. Look at this pass from Ellison. Justice Ellison is a running back for the Indiana. Look at that.
Beautiful.
In stride. 4 minutes to go, starting to get late for AIC. Coleman Hobson in his first career starts in the game. He fakes the zip down low, is bear hugged by Tangashaka. Here's Pekrishvili trying to get himself involved, and he back irons it.
Just trying to get something to go their way.
McCown, one hopper. Here is Dembele, no dice. 0 for 3 on their last 3 lay-in tries, and AIC not dead yet. Hobson, a foul as the Assumption bench was clamoring for a travel. It's Mawo who picks up his third.
And that's foul number 6 on Assumption. Just keep that in mind.
So one shy of 1 and 1 as Hobson cannot make the first.
Another struggle this season, free throw shooting.
Timeout grabbed by Scott Fosher. That's the first free throw miss in the college career of Coleman Hobson. Granted, he's only tried 5. So, as we take a look at your scoring leaders, Jamal Barnes has 23 points. His ninth double-digit scoring game, his first 20-point game of the year. Baril Mawo, 14. His season high is 19. Dauda Dembele is 13. And what kind of stands out to me more is that the rebounding numbers, and a lot of this has to do with the teams have been shooting well, 43.3% for Assumption and 52.9% for AIC. The rebounding numbers have really been spread out. AIC, their leading rebounder is Justice Ellison, then Tyree Washington and Lovrejaya each have 6. But the fact that nobody on the Greyhounds has more than 5 rebounds is astonishing to me.
Well, it just shows how deep Assumption's bench is, how they can just continue. They can start with one lineup, and everybody has tried at least one field goal.
They have 8 players with a made field goal tonight. They have 19 players on their roster. They have a couple of scratches, so knock that off. They got 16 dressed players for this game.
They could literally, if they wanted to, they could probably run 3 lineups. They could have 1 lineup, 2 lineup, then 3 lineup, and just do that the whole game with the amount of players they got. But
the old Bridgeport act.
That's what Bridgeport did.
So Coleman Hobson will have a lot of time between free throws. He missed the first. His team trails by 7. Make it 6. Jaya is going to come in and lift him. Mawo. Oh, what a pass inside. Incomplete on the finish. But Dembele will get to the free throw line. And it's Washington who picks up the foul. Dauda Dembele is a 77.4% free throw shooter this season. Sinks the first. And he is back on the double-digit scoring train. He's got his 4th double-digit scoring game in his last 5. As part of a complete team effort for these Greyhounds, they lead by 7. We got a foul on Washington, another one, and this will be 1-1. It's Mawo this time to the line at 77%.
And AIC's been battling. They have definitely battled.
One will result in a second.
They battled, but even though they've been battling, it's just been so challenging to keep up with a smothering on-ball defense and such a quick-paced offense, such a fast-paced offense.
One more will probably do it if they can get a stop here for the Greyhounds' purposes. Pikrishvili fakes the pass, goes to Ellison after all. Dembele defends him about 40 feet behind. Ellison in to 2 feet away, can't get the roll. Rebound tipped up, and McCown comes back with it. McCown straight up the gut. Good night, folks. Z McCown, his second bucket just should about do it with an 11-point edge for the Hounds. Two minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Tyree Washington gets fouled from behind by Mawo. That'll be his fourth.
For what it's worth, each team is in the bonus with 7 fouls each.
Tyree Washington has just secured his 4th double-digit scoring game. He's got 10 points. Z McCown, 5 assists to lead all players. He has 5 of the 11 Greyhound assists. As we creep under 2 minutes to go in a 10-point game. All with a clean strip of Barnes. Barnes picks it up. Mawo tries to back in on Pikrishvili. Does once, does twice, does thrice. Continues to hold, and it's backed out to Stewart. One of the early highlights for Assumption, his 1,000-point clinching 3-ball, and he will get a chance to add to his ledger at the free throw line. Stewart, who entered today 9 for his first 16 from the free throw line, cannot bury the first. As we take a look at these teams' upcoming schedules, first for the Assumption Greyhounds. This is the first of a 3-game road trip, and it doesn't get easier. They've got the pace setters, the nationally ranked pace setters, and the league's leading assister Trey Alexander on the docket for Saturday. And they head to West Haven, Connecticut to take on the New Haven Chargers 8 days from tonight.
And it's actually the matchup we're getting. Next home game will be against the pace setters for both men and women.
That's a great call, Joel, and kind of buried the lead here a little bit. AIC on the road once at Southern New Hampshire on Saturday. Then Trey Alexander and the setters head east from Pleasantville to Springfield. But AIC, 3 of their next 4 games are on the road. McCown blocked from behind by Jaya. Up the other way goes Ellison. Jaya gonna go in, knocks down McCown, and it'll get 2. Timeout Andy Burkholder. 7-point game. Trying to drop a stop.
What a game this has been, though. And as you look, it's only a 7-point deficit, but it was only a 2-point game at the half, and AIC battled their way back into it. But Assumption has just proven to be too much to overcome.
Quite literally and figuratively. Literally in terms of the depth of that team, having full line changes and being able to substitute in 5 guys at once.
And still play at such a high level.
Precisely, and that's the key right there. You're not seeing much of a drop-off with this Assumption team from
one lineup to another.
I'd say the A to the B, but it's really more the 1A to the 1B in terms of the even and just kind of one is one lineup, the other is the other, but there's no real ranking in that sense.
But immense talent in both lineups that allows them to do that, and it really shows the power of coaching and putting a scheme in that's not only allowing for one line to have success, but two line changes to have success and to have such high efficiency, and how they've just been able to play on both sides, offensively and defensively.
For what it's worth, AIC is the possession arrow in their favor. There's 44.7 seconds remaining, and the Greyhounds will get the basketball coming out here. It's McCown. Stewart was left alone on the right side. AIC going to go full press here, and the Greyhounds break it with Payne. There's the foul by Ellison. Just 1-1 for the final time for the Hounds tonight.
Foul call number 2, Justice Ellison is 4th in the game, team's 9 for the half. The line for a 1-1 for the Greyhounds, number 32, Noah Payne.
And considering all we've talked about what this Assumption team does as an offense and how diverse they are, they've only got 3 double-digit scores. Granted, Stewart is right on the cusp. He's got 9. Meanwhile, I can get one final plug in with 38.4 seconds to go. AIC opens up another season tomorrow. The men's volleyball team has their first contest of the season against the Russell Sage College Gators. An interdivisional matchup will be broadcast live on the ECC network tomorrow at 7 p.m. So not on Flow, but on the ECC network. As here is Jack Hall going to fade away and shorted it. Offensive putback, nope. Rebound by Pikrishvili. Couple of final looks for Jack Hall. Can't get one more for the road. Stewart gets fouled by Pikrishvili. The men's volleyball in their first season in a conference. We've been talking a lot about in this country how conferences matter in college sports. Obviously, the discourse up in Amherst about the Massachusetts Minutemen football team getting a conference starting next year. Well, the AIC Yellow Jackets men's volleyball team is getting a conference. They're going to join the East Coast Conference this year, and the first game of their season, non-conference game, will be broadcast tomorrow. Seth Dussault and Alice DiFrancesco will have the call of that one. As if anybody misses the highs and lows of volleyball season, it's coming back. I'll tell you this much. I miss volleyball season.
Volleyball's a lot more fun than I originally thought it would be.
Well, here's one final ball for the road for Jack Hall. It counts. And Jack Hall has secured himself a 20-burger, his 5th of the year. But the Assumption Greyhounds snapped the little 2-game losing streak, grabbed their 7th NE10 win of the season, improved to 7-2, and get an 82-75 hard-fought, as they always are with this team, victory.
Yeah, and it was a great team effort all around. We saw on full display the great ability here to put one lineup in, play well, put another lineup in. They're playing well at a great level, and they get to rest those guys in between. So really, it was just a great all-around effort from the Assumption Greyhounds.
That is indeed what it is. AIC falls to 2-7 in conference play, 3-14 overall. Assumption 12-4, 7-2 in conference play. No, we didn't even get to mention 8-0 on the road. Road Warriors are the Hounds, and I guess it makes sense. The Greyhounds are, after all, a traveling breed. That is going to do it for us, for all the hardworking folks here at AIC's Athletic Communications Department, for Mr. Seth Dussault, for Mr. Joel Carey, for Ms. Naisha Ortiz, for Ms. Brianna Harzul, and for everybody who has contributed here at some point tonight, this season, or will in the future. We thank you so much for your hard work and making this a heck of a lot of fun. My name is Andrew Sood, signing off from Springfield, the Assumption Greyhounds, both women's and men's hoops teams getting dubs. 2-0 tonight for the Worcester Warriors, the Assumption Greyhounds. Good night, folks.